From AAA flops to whatever the heck Catley is, we predict these 2025 games will be hitting the bargain shelf not too long after they're released. Continuing the main overarching storyline of the quirky first-person looter-shooter RPG series, Borderlands 4 introduces players to an all-new roster of vault hunters and villains. After a bit of a lukewarm reception for the last entry of the series, folks are certainly hoping that the series will be able to win them over once again.
Hyperion, we're not the bad guys in this one.
But there are reasons fans are worried. First, the art style is noticeably leaning more towards realism than the series' usual vibe. Next, some fans think the designs of the new Vault Hunters don't quite feel as unique or interesting when compared to previous series protagonists. Finally, we hate to even bring it up, but the franchise as a whole took a major hit with the Borderlands movie, which heavily tarnished the series in the eyes of the fans. There's still hope, but Borderlands 4 has a lot to prove. The Sonic franchise is beloved by hardcore fans, despite the fact that some of its sequels have stained the franchise. But even with the series' passionate fanbase, this one might be a difficult sell. Sonic Rumble, an upcoming Battle Royale party game, will pit 32 players against each other as toy versions of Sonic characters, playing through various challenges and minigames. Think a high-speed Fall Guys and you get the basic picture. It's incredibly difficult to set your title apart in the crowded Battle Royale genre, even with the Sonic IP attached. It doesn't help that the game has been drawing criticism since its 2024 beta test. Its controversial gacha mechanics have been removed since then, but early testers have criticized it for feeling ironically slow-paced and uninspired in its minigame design. Basically, Sonic Rumble may not have enough going for it to carve out its own niche. 2025 also marks the return of a unique horror franchise, the Dark Pictures Anthology. This series by Supermassive Games, developer of Until Dawn and The Quarry, is a collection of smaller horror games that release seasonally, similar to a TV show. The first 4 titles were released within a year of each other. Now, 3 years after the release of the last game of Season 1, the Dark Pictures Anthology is returning with the sci-fi horror story Directive 8020. Although some fans are excited to see the series return, others aren't sure about the direction Directive 8020 is taking, thinking the sci-fi atmosphere may be too big of a departure for fans of the series. Additionally, the 1-2 punch of mediocre reviews for the previous entry, The Devil in Me, and the 3-year gap between releases has somewhat dulled the hype the franchise once had. Directive 8020 might only have Dark Pictures diehards tuning in. Assassin's Creed Shadows is making some bold moves. Set in Japan's Sengoku period, the game will continue the sprawling historical fiction timeline the fans have fallen in love with since the beginning of the series. With a new and improved stealth system and a whole slew of ninja tools at the player's disposal, Assassin's Creed Shadows seems like a slam dunk on paper. Sadly, it has already seen a fairly large amount of pushback from the gaming community. A large subsection of fans complained when it was revealed that the game's protagonist will be a black samurai named Yasuke and a female shinobi named Naoe. Ubisoft has stood by the developers, reminding gamers that Yasuke was an actual historical figure and that the AC franchise has traditionally featured a diverse cast of characters from different ethnic backgrounds.
I was going to handle that.
Too slow.
Other fans have distanced themselves from the toxic discourse, instead expressing concerns that the series' gameplay is getting tired at this point. However you slice it, Assassin's Creed Shadows has already received a bit of a bad reputation that will probably affect its release. Yet another Sonic the Hedgehog spin-off coming in 2025 is a long-awaited continuation of the Sonic Racing franchise. Sonic Racing CrossWorlds shared its first teaser with the gaming world during the 2024 Game Awards livestream, but fans seem to be underwhelmed by what they're seeing. Even Game Awards host Jeff Keighley seemed puzzled by the brevity of the reveal trailer, and gamers are already cracking jokes about Sonic and friends, not really needing cars to go fast. Some fans are worried that the new game will stray from the classic Sonic Racing formula, while others are annoyed that the initial marketing failed to show off anything that would indicate that Sonic Racing CrossWorlds will be a must-play release. Plus, now that Nintendo has confirmed the existence of a new Mario Kart game coming this year as well, some Sonic fans fear that CrossWorlds is already doomed by the competition. Mafia is yet another time-honored series making its return in 2025. However, rather than pick up where Mafia 3 left off nearly a decade ago, the new game takes an interesting twist that many fans didn't expect. Mafia: The Old Country will instead be a prequel to the original game, taking place in early 1900s Sicily. While the general tone of the series will be similar, the aesthetic is decidedly more old-fashioned. Mafia: The Old Country is also more of a linear mission-based experience, rather than an open-world game like its predecessor. It's already easy to see that Mafia: The Old Country is taking big swings, becoming something far different from what fans are used to. Sometimes that works, but right now some gamers aren't sure they're ready to get on board with it. You knew it was coming. It's time to talk about Cat Lee. When a trailer for the game debuted during the Game Awards, nobody knew what the hell they were watching. According to the official Steam description, Cat Lee will focus on raising cats, building an island, and taking your cats on vacation-themed activities like skiing. Cat Lee's surreal art style has led gamers to accuse the developers of using AI-generated assets, while others predicted the game would be built around the use of NFTs. According to the developers, none of that's true. But that didn't really do anything to persuade passionate gamers who are afraid of being duped. There's a lot of commotion surrounding Cat Lee, but it doesn't seem like the kind that translates to sales. Although many thought the series was well over, Fable is making its triumphant return in 2025. The 2004 original was painstakingly designed to make players feel like every choice really mattered, incorporating a morality system that many gamers have since copied for their own immersive purposes. With Fable being such a well-beloved classic franchise, this new entry has very big shoes to fill. If this wasn't enough, there are rumors that the development team has been struggling with various issues behind the scenes that have caused internal delays. Finally, and most importantly, the game itself is projected to be released in fall 2025. This may put it in direct competition with GTA 6, a game projected to become one of the biggest sellers of all time.
So, yeah, I knew this girl once who made all the wrong choices.
Even the abject failure of Lord of the Rings Gollum can't keep the Lord of the Rings down. This time, the franchise is exploring the least exciting place in Middle-earth, Bilbo and Frodo's hometown, in Tales of the Shire, a Lord of the Rings game. This cozy simulation game allows players to create and control their own hobbit and live out a comfortable life in the Shire. Think Harvest Moon with a Tolkien twist. According to those who have played a demo of the game, Tales of the Shire is way more boring than fans would hope. Digital Trends Preview noted that the game has some fun ideas, but there's not much that sets it apart from other farming sims. Given the middling response from the demo, as well as the disappointing track record for Lord of the Rings games as of late, Tales of the Shire might not exactly be the one game to rule them all.